Welcome to episode 18 of the No Scrubs podcast. I'm your host, Lewis, and joined with me today, a man in lovely lavender, Stephen. How you going?
I'm good. They said dark lavender, and then I was just like, oh, sick. Because it would just look like my Lorna Shore hoodie if it was black. And it arrived and was like, that's lilac. But, you know, we try new things.
That's all right, mate. It looks good. I feel like this might be the first time someone hasn't been wearing just wearing black on the pod. I feel like it could be the case, eh? Like, I mean, my shirt under here is blue, but it's just a grotty gym shirt there. I just put a hoodie over to not look like absolute shit. So, yeah, got to tuck the old spate shirt away. You know what? Is it? Yeah, pride of the South, mate. Pride of the South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll drink to the stars, I'm sure.
My old flatmate heard the Spates tattoo on his chest. I used to annoy him by saying, because it's the 3 stars. I'm like, yeah, mate, it's 3 stars, 3 out of 5. You know, not bad, Bill. No, that's not what it stands for. It's the three gold medals. I'm like, nah, mate, it's a 3 out of 5. You know, it's a modest beer. He gets so fucking mad about it.
Did you ever say to him, it's like, and you're a 3 out of 5 man?
I tell you what, he might be a 3 out of 5 man, but he was a 5 out of 5 flatmate.
Hell yeah.
One of the only like truly great flatmates I ever had. Always cleaned up after himself. Like, he worked on cars, so he was generally pretty aware, but sometimes you get grubby handprints on doors and door handles, but, you know, he was pretty self-aware of it, you know, so he would go and he'd wash his hands normally with detergent, because hand soap just doesn't really get the oil and stuff off your fingers, so he'd just be washing his hands in the kitchen sink with that, which doesn't bother me personally. I'm not worried about that at all. Some people might be like, oh, the kitchen sink. It's fine, mate. I'm just going to put some dirty dishes in there anyway. So we got a bit to talk about. Sometimes I come into these like really, really underprepared. Sometimes I'm like, fuck, how are we going to do this? Like, we've talked about it beforehand and be like, oh man, I don't know if we've got anything to talk about, and then we go for 2 hours. Like, how do we do that? So, yeah, we got a bit. So, I was quite perplexed the other day when everyone who knows me, I'm a watchman, right? I wear watches, I dabble, sometimes nice watches, sometimes smart watches. My smartwatch did a 2 gig update the other day, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Why's my watch got to have a 2 gig update? And I was like, man,
damn,
you could fit the entirety of the first Doom game on 2.39 megabytes. Like, my watch did a 2 gig update. What do you fucking mean?
Yeah, but did the original Doom have an in-game clock?
That's a good point. I don't know if it did. I don't know, Stephen. You're asking the real questions today.
Yeah.
I was thinking, can it tell me? Okay, so the newest version of Doom 1 and 2, that's the moddable version and the new textures and everything, and well, that is 1.14 gig, and that's like the high-res textures and stuff. So it's fancy Doom is still just about half the size of that fucking update.
Fancy Doom.
Yeah, that's crazy. What are they doing, man? File sizes are getting blown out of proportion. It's fucking ridiculous.
Dude, it's like I remember getting a PS4 for the first time, and I really wanted to play and finished Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriot, and it had like time. Like, usually I thought it was like you had the option of installing a game to your PS4. This just, no questions asked, had to install itself onto the PS4.
Yeah, this is bullshit.
And they had a cheeky wee jab at Microsoft at one level where it's just like, I'm sorry to say, Snake, but it's time for you to switch over to like disc 2. And he's like, what? It's like, there's not enough space on this disc. What? It's like, oh, we run on Blu-ray technology. It all fits onto the one disc. I don't know what you're talking about.
Did he say Blu-ray. They do this, the classic sort of
Blu-ray?
Yeah, it's interesting about that whole thing with as well, Blu-ray versus HD DVD, because it was like 15 gig versus 50 gig, that whole thing. But HD DVD, I think, could read faster, but Blu-ray was obviously just bigger. I mean, one of the reasons we have had to go to everything on the hard drive now is that Blu-ray just isn't fast enough. I don't think there'll be any like standard kind of disc that'll be fast enough to be fair. Like, that's becoming a problem.
Red Ray.
That's actually, oh, bro, it goes faster. That's actually something I didn't put in the doc, but probably should have. About Ubisoft talking about Star Wars Outlaws running on the Switch 2. Because there's been a lot of talk about these game key cards, and there's been a lot of people aren't happy with them because it's like you insert the game key card, so you got the physical copy, but it doesn't run off it, and you've got to download the game anyway. And a lot of people aren't happy about that. But Ubisoft said the speed, like for the textures, like for the read write, I guess it's more the read, but the read is not fast enough. And I know that CD Projekt Red got Cyberpunk working on it and so on, but still, it's like they were just like, this just isn't fast enough. That's why we put on a game key card, and instead of the actually on there, which it sucks because a lot of people who want to have physical games just won't be having the third-party physical games, but we're seeing a limitation of those cartridges that you're just not getting on internal storage.
Yeah.
So I wonder, is this going to be the last generation of these physical games for them or not? If they're not going to be able to keep up, or are they going to have to develop something that is faster? I don't know, but it is quite interesting. And I know that I'm a Ubisoft hater through and through, but a lot of developers seem to be struggling with it, so I don't think this is a Ubisoft thing. Apparently the port is actually really good on the Switch too. People were pleasantly surprised at how good it is. So,
hell yeah.
This might be one of the first times I've only had positive things to say about Ubisoft. You just wait until later, okay? I'll find something. But
When
we're
was the
talking
last
about.
Rayman game?
Apparently, they are working on a new Rayman.
Whoa.
What I hear. So, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Ubisoft Redemption arc coming up? Nah.
I don't think it'll happen, but
Nah.
the Redemption arc. I've got hope. There's some good stuff in there in the back catalogue. But speaking of file sizes, so they'd blown up so ridiculously that Call of Duty Warzone, not that long ago, was over 200 gig on PS5. But they managed to, I don't know how they've done it, they've managed to get it down to around 55 gigs that you can play it on, which people will be criticising Call of Duty for a long time for these massive file sizes, but you're like, makes you wonder, was it just laziness to not shrink the package down? I'm sure it's not easy, but you know, how'd you manage to chop out 145 gig out of that package and it still is the same game? It's interesting. So there's something that's quite interesting as well. Speaking of interesting, about the way they used to have to develop games versus how they can now, and why games are slightly smaller on PS5 versus PS4 for the same game. And it was, you'd have to have the same texture multiple times across like either the disc or like on the hard drive, so it can pull that texture faster. But now the drives are so much faster, it can just be on there, that texture be on there once, and it can pull it from anywhere with the faster speeds. So that's quite a cool thing. Like, you might find a game is like 10 gigs smaller on PS5 than PS4. Got wicked. So that's something that's nice about these new snappy drives, which I've got in my PC as well. But PC you can't really just do that because you've got to cater to people still playing games on hard disk or standard SSDs and not just NVMe's. Just because I put stupid money into the drives itself.
Went through the whole rigmarole to get it going.
Oh yeah, we had issues with this PC, but it's going down and it's going fucking awesome.
Like, you know, in animes where they had that sort of like cross sort of vein.
Yeah.
You know the one?
Yeah.
That was you.
Like the meme of the guy with the vein popping out his head.
Yeah.
That's essentially just a live action version of that anime, you know?
Dude, did you know there's like no great? I thought there was like a big story behind the vein kid.
Mm.
It was just he's like, "Oi, I can do this," and he's just like, "Do it." And so he sits next to someone and he starts like filming, taking a photo. He just does that. And I was like, "Oh, I thought he was like trying not to shit himself or something," but it's
It
cool.
is very much a try not to shit himself face or holding in a
Yeah,
fart like aggressively.
or like a volcanic ejaculation sort of thing, trying to prevent it. No.
Speaking from experience, you're doing those Pornhub games of try not to come videos.
Dude, I remember back in the day, I think it's when I used to smoke cigarettes and I was just stressed all the time. So I'd have a vein popping out there and one of the boys like pushes out, it's like, I can feel that pulsating.
Oh
And
no,
I was like, yeah, it's not nice, isn't it?
that's,
So
and
so I
look
don't
at you
smoke
now.
at all, but I still stress.
Yeah,
But
look at you now.
this
Your face is so much less vascular. Isn't that beautiful?
yeah.
This is something I find funny. It's like the dudes that are like absolutely jacked and with the popping veins, and it's just like, yeah, check out this, check out these veins, and I'm like, no
Gross.
woman ever has been like, oh, look how vascular that man is. Oh, you know, like,
Every time I see someone who's like stupidly vascular, I was just like, cool, so if I followed this street, that should be able to get me home the quickest.
yeah, you just like tracing up. Oh, cool. Oh yeah,
I was
yeah,
just
just
like,
right at the
bro,
dairy. Okay, cool.
your next challenge is a fucking paper cut. They'll get you.
How to kill a man.
Yeah, clip yourself on like any corner.
Yeah. Bumped himself on a desk, and just
On
bleeds
a
out. So this is something I've been thinking about recently. Thinking about you.
Oh, thanks.
Just because there's been the whole thing about Call of Duty and adding like ridiculous skins, and they've added like Beavis and Butthead. And that seems to be the thing where people like started. That was what really they drew the line at Beavis and Butthead, because you know they're kind of Fortniting up Call of Duty, which is I've always thought Call of Duty is just a fun arcadey shooter, but there is like a kind of serious tone in a way. It's just not. I don't think the games are that serious, but you know, it's a military shooter. And just should you be able to turn off skins in multiplayer games in general? Should everybody look generic and you can just turn off skins? I understand why they wouldn't, because they want to sell more skins and they want. There's more incentive for you to buy skins if everyone can see the skin that you've got, and so on, or if you're seeing other people's skins. But I mean, as a consumer, I'm for them being able to turn off skins. Like apparently in Halo Infinite, is it Halo Infinite, or maybe it was the Master Chief Collection, because they added a few skins which aren't outrageous. There's one with like it's a Spartan with like cat ears on the top, like on the helmet, which is actually part of the helmet, and I think that's kind of cool because it's still a Spartan helmet. It's not something too outrageous. And apparently you can turn off the skin, so it's just for your immersion. You're just fighting other Spartans like in normal armor. And personally, I think it's cool. I like that a lot, actually. What do you think?
The option to do it, I think, yeah, because like I don't know, man. Imagine if you kept on getting fucking dicked on by people all wearing the certain type of skin.
I'd say no
Imagine if
Miku skin or something like.
Chun-Li.
Well, we want
Or,
that. We want that.
yeah, but then
I'd
it's
let her
just like,
teabag me.
yeah, it's just like I have to turn off the Chun-Li skins. And it's like, why? It's like, because I can't play this game with just the mouse.
Oh wait, you took it with your left hand?
You don't? No, I'm ambidextrous when it comes to that.
Ambidextrous.
Nah, no.
You think I can
right.
do anything with this gammy ass left hand, bro? This can't do anything. This left hand is like, it may as well have paperwork to say it's disabled or something. It can't do fucking anything, bro.
Nah, this is my WASD hand.
Hey,
You know what I mean.
well, you know.
Wank and nah, no, it's
Wank
like
and Sunday driving.
I don't know. At least you can. I don't like. Yeah, I'm for it. It's not like I imagine with it'd be a big deal if you turned off skins and say like Fortnite, where the whole being able to express yourself through your avatar is like more of a selling point. But for that, like if you don't want to see goofy skins, then you have the option to toggle.
Yeah, and I think it should still be an option in Fortnite, but depending on the mode that you're playing, right? If you're playing like PvP, sure, but if you're in like the Lego mode or something, yeah, I think you should be able to have every skin on. I think
I t-
you
I
know,
tell you what, my friend would not, who's a dude, would not get sexually harassed in the little lobby area in his Chun-Li costume. It's dude, we'll just be when I used to play it, it would just be standing there, just be a group of guys just pickaxing him. Or like a little Morty just I shit you not, a little
Morty.
Morty just like crouching behind her.
Oh, jeez,
And I was
Chun-Li, I
like,
want to eat your ass.
oh gee.
Yeah, man, it's weird, eh? I once went on with Alex and one of her friends on like the Lego one, and it was just a bunch of children, and I was just like, I don't know, I was just trolling children. I just thought it was hilarious. Someone's like, "Who wants to be my girlfriend?" I'm like, "Me." And then like, I'm 57 years old. And just ridiculous shit. Just to be, I was just saying absurd things, and then be like, I'm an old man. Like, just didn't. Yeah, because otherwise, if it was like, oh, me, I'm a 14-year-old girl. See, that would be weird. That would be
Yeah.
really weird. But I'm like, I'm a 57-year-old man.
I'm
Just
a
joking.
14-year You're like, I'm a
Yeah.
14-year-old girl in the Lego mode.
Yeah, so he did a little trolling, but it was a funny time. But
Then the other person's like, yeah, well, joke's on you. I too am a 47-year-old man.
yeah, you want to meet up for a beer? Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Roblox actually has a massive problem with like predators and stuff. It's crazy. They banned that YouTuber that was doing like stings to arrest predators on Roblox. Wait, did I say arrest? What am I saying, bro? They didn't arrest anyone. So wait. Okay, they banned a guy. Roblox banned a guy who got a guy arrested who was a predator on Roblox. All right, that was yeah. I might have butchered that at the start, but yeah, and it's weird to be like, oh well, we can't have this kind of behavior on here. It's like a guy who's like hunting predators. It
They
always
also-
seemed like they were more okay with the predators than the people trying to hunt them down.
They also have a thing of, in order to use voice chat, you have to like send some photo ID.
Yeah.
That's crook.
Oh, what did I hear they were doing? People were taking a look at getting their phones out. We have Death Stranding 2 on, and Norman Reedus' face in the game, and that was passing for the Roblox
Hey
identification.
man, I'm about it.
That also shows you how good Death Stranding 2 looks. Eh?
Mm. Oh, like even like in the advertisements of like Norman Reedus's character like kissing the little boy's head, and you can see like the veins in the kid's like cranium. It's like gross, but also that's some realism right there.
Absolutely. I accidentally clicked on a video, and now I'm hoping that it did not play that little snippet of audio on a pod. But you know what? If it did, mate, it's a little treat, you know. And I'll give anyone that can find the video $5. Only the first person, all right? I'm not anyone. Yeah. So anyway, give us options of multiplayer games so we can turn skins off. I think. If you don't, I understand.
Yeah, get us
Making a
some
games with
QRLs.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of skins, Helldivers 2 has sold an estimated 1 million copies on Xbox.
Dang.
So pretty good for People were like, that's a platform where people don't buy games. But it's not bad.
Do they still need to have a PlayStation account to play it?
Or that, I don't know. I don't think you do. I think they turned that off after the shenanigans with the PC version. Because we didn't need it, and they brought it in, and then everyone flipped out, and then they turned it off, I believe. So, yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, the thing is, people are like, oh, it's still selling softer than it did on PlayStation and PC. Yeah, but this didn't release day one there. So it's not a fair comparison. So, yeah, it's good. I think this shows as well that there are people out there willing to spend money on these games, these PlayStation games, and I think that we will get more live service games from PlayStation coming to Xbox in the future, even though half of their live service games are cancelled. And I got the damn coughs tonight. I'm muted every time so far. We're doing well. So yeah, it's very much like people were saying. It's a very Xbox coded game, and I think I can agree with that. Xbox just felt like back in the day it was the multiplayer place to play console games. Like in the Xbox 360 era, me and the boys were playing Gears of War online. We were playing Halo. I can't think of how many games I played on PS3 online with people. It was pretty much all the single player games. If I didn't like, obviously there was plenty to play. You know, people play Killzone and others. I'm not trying to remember what the exclusives were. It was a long time ago now. It's isn't the Xbox 360 about to turn 20?
No,
it's fucking crazy, bro. We are old. So,
as someone who didn't have Xbox 360, just PS3, I was just like, yeah, me and boy, meaning I'm that boy, playing solo JRPGs. Golly.
Oh, golly, oh, jeez. Jeez, mister. I think he did Resistance Fall of Man. Did that have multiplayer? I can't remember. But I remember there's actually a trophy for Killzone. You've got to be in like one of the top percentages on like the game to get a trophy. Like that's fucking brutal. You got to be like the top 10% or something. Some shit like that. Multiplayer trophies, I'm kind of not for, unless it's a game that is like predominantly, obviously, a multiplayer game.
Yeah, because I mean, if the servers go down, unlucky.
Yeah, it's like you could never get this. Though there were people that were, so where Concord, the great Sony success of Concord, people were like, they were like, the game's shutting down in 3 days. I've got to try and get the platinum quick. And they found that there were entire lobbies of people throwing themselves off the cliff to make the game go faster so they could just farm XP. Look, I played the open beta, and I didn't think it was that bad. Obviously, no one else fucking cared at all. It was free, the multiplayer beta, and I couldn't get any of my friends to jump on at all. No one wanted to at all. It should have been enough of a sign. So, yes. And what I played, I swear, it really wasn't that bad. It just wasn't remarkable. It wasn't amazing. The characters were pretty bland and not particularly memorable. So, yeah. It was never going to have legs, but it could have done okay. But that would have been it. Wouldn't have made its money back. So yeah, I need to get back to Helldivers 2, but who knows if I will, because there's like a fucking billion games coming out right now. Crazy.
Well, we on the Wednesdays, once we finish up Peak, Helldivers 2 potentially could be on the cards. So
true.
Who knows?
Because I feel like I've probably got one more session of Peak in me.
Same.
I like Peak, but those friend slop games, I say lovingly because I think Peak is really good. But I just can't play too much of the same one over and over again. I want to play it a few times and then maybe come back to it, in 6 months when it's got some more updates.
Dude, they have like little messages when you boot up the game, like in the menu, and one of the little messages it says like, "Oh, you'll be playing you'll be able to play this in time for in preparation for Silk Song, which releases in when it released.
Speaking of Silk Song,
Segway.
I'm riding my Segway. You remember way back in the day, a classic Kiwi metal band, Injured Response, had those videos, not those videos, those pictures for like an album, which was them on like at an American truck stop on giant Segways. It's obviously like a Photoshop. But those giant Segways with these massive fucking wheels, and that was like a band photo for them. It was just a Photoshop one, but it was this fucking rules.
That shit comes.
Yeah. Oh, bro, that comes. So, Silk Song's out, and it was so popular that it crashed Steam. To be fair, they didn't have any pre-orders. So it's a little dramatic to say it crashed Steam. It was so popular, and while true, all these other games that end up with more concurrents have pre-orders that people will get at different times and install, and and to pre-install. So it's a little bit different, but still over 500,000 peak concurrent players already. Well, I say already, but it's probably not going to get higher because the way it works with this kind of game, it's a single player game. But that's fucking massive. That's crazy. But there's been some weird stuff going on with this. Like, people are like, people have been so weird about the fact that because they're like, they announced their release really soon, and they're like, oh, this is the GTA 6 of indies. This is so unfair. I can't believe they did this to these other developers and stuff. You're like, okay, like, this is going to happen. It's like, oh, you should be more considerate and release your game later, or no, this is when they wanted to release it, man. It's going to happen. You can delay yours if you want, but it's just the reality, man. It's just going to happen. People are like, oh, it's $20 US. The price is unfair to other indie developers. They should charge more to give us a fighting chance.
No, that's so silly.
If they want to charge a reasonable price for their game, good.
I've had
pro-consumer of them. And then the game journalists like, they didn't give us any codes. Oh, that one got through. No. And yeah, I mean, it sucks not getting the access, but they're like, people backed this on Kickstarter years ago, and they're like, we think it's fair that we give it to them at the same time as everyone else. We shouldn't give any special privilege to the game journalists before the people that have backed us on Kickstarter from so long ago. I'm like, oh, that's wicked. I think it's so weird, because I'm like, video game company does pro-consumer thing, consumers mad. What? And so much of it's journalists as well, but what?
I don't know, man. It's like that is smacks of just like big entitlement. It just reminds me of the classic thing with Breath of the Wild. I think it was like someone from Kotaku didn't get a review copy, and they just had a fucking sook, and was kicking up dirt on Twitter, and it was just like, man, shut up.
Yeah,
but I had a friend. It wasn't me. It was not me. I'm not that friend. I remember hearing that with Silk Song, there has been a fair bit of pirate's remorse. People will be going on to their sites, and there'd be comments just saying, don't pirate this game. It's $20. It's real good. Like, show them love. And then there'd be people that's like, yeah, I pirated it, but also this smacks. The team is great. They've been working on it for so long, so I just ended up buying it.
Yeah. And it was so interesting about the game was in development for 7 years, and it was fine. We didn't have any issues. We just kept adding to it and making it better, and we just we just didn't know when it was going to come out because we just kept improving it.
No controversies, no in-house fighting, no rewrites, no no software issues. It's just we'll take it out of the oven when we feel it's ready.
Yeah, which is great.
It is good.
And apparently, some of the members of the team are like, one of the guys is like, he lives in a one-bedroom apartment and he's made a shitload of money off the first game, and he's still like, yeah, I'm content with this right now. I just want to keep making games. Like, wicked, humble people. So, yeah, it's great to see, man. We love an indie success story. It's yeah, that's awesome. And I've been dabbling. I haven't played much yet. I'll talk a little bit about that later, but hopefully I'll get to play a bit more this weekend. So the next thing, this is wild. Nintendo and the Pokemon Company revealed a US patent on summoning a character and letting it fight another. So it's a bit, any game where you summon a character, like Final Fantasy where you have summons, or Persona, or Jade Cocoon. But there's a lot more examples where you can summon a dude, or throw throw in a monster to do the battling for you, stuff like that. So we'll have to see if anything comes of this, because you can't really have a patent on that. Like, really, it doesn't really work that way. Like, you can have it, but it's not necessarily enforceable. It sounds like it's more got to be used as ammo for, like, if another Power World or something comes along, to be like, we have this and we will sue you if they feel like it's a rip-off. But they can't really legally enforce that. I think they would lose most of these court cases for this thing. But it just gives them a little more weight to throw around. Like, what do you think? What kind of monster, you got any favourite games where you might summon a character and letting it fight another?
Well, the thing is, like, I can maybe no, I think the whole pattern is a bit scuffed, but like I could get where they're coming from, where it's like you see creature, you fight creature, you capture creature, you fight someone with said creature, but like summons, like just in general, it's just like, dude, that's scuffed.
Yeah.
Like,
Didn't Yakuza have one of the Yakuzas or something have one where you could like get your gang of like homeless dudes that you could like summon or something? A bunch of different dudes.
Sujimon.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just homeless people, it was perverts.
Oh.
And the best thing was to basically capture a Sujimon, you have to get gifts, but it's basically a box. I think it's like a box of chocolates, and you have to, there's like a couple, like a quick time event and stuff. And, if you get it perfect, Ichiban looks like real lovingly and like gives it to them. But if you hit the lowest, he just holds up the box and goes, and just chucks it on the floor to them. And that means you have a real low percentage of catching that pervert.
Yeah. I heard it. Words hard. I heard it was quite in depth as well. Like, there's quite a lot to it. There are a lot to collect.
They had leagues, like the Pokemon League.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it was awesome. And like, you had your legendaries, which were gacha pulls.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Infinite Wealth. If you haven't checked it out already, play it.
Game of a lifetime.
Oi.
You stole my line, you son of a bitch.
Hey, could be our line.
Comrade. PS5 prices are going up. So I had to do the classic segue, but they're going up in the US this time. So this one is due to the tariffs, but they had them all. They had a heap of warehouse stock. They're like, we got about 3 months of warehouse stock. 3 months have passed. Yeah, I don't think this is that big of a deal because they already went up everywhere else. They've been up in New Zealand. We've already had our price hikes. They went up in Australia. They went up in most of Europe, and now it's America's turn. it is crazy that the cheapest that PS5s were was on launch.
Damn.
You know, for a lot of, I think the Slims might be slightly cheaper, but yeah, pretty wild. But this kind of leads into an interesting thing on the next one, though. Talking about the PS6. So it's rumored that the
PlayStation
PS6
6.
is going to be cheaper than the PS5, which is weird. Maybe it's cheaper to make, and maybe they'll sell it for more, so they can still have PS5s going out the door as well. But apparently,
PS5's walking out the door.
Yeah, I love doing that. Do you want to see my impression of a glass pipe and then just leave? We used to quote that all the time at work. Okay, walking out the door. Yeah. So the rumors are. So this comes from Moore's Law is Dead, who is a tech YouTuber, knows his shit. And the rumors are it's 50% more powerful than the PS5 Pro. It's cheaper to make. Expected to be 2027 or 2028. Currently rumored to be 3 versions. So there's 2 that seem like they are happening, and there's 1 that's more to be like it might be happening. So there's a base model version that's just going to be like the PS5, but PS6. Cool. There is going to be like a dockable handheld version, which sounds like it will be less powerful, but something similar to the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how that's going to work. Quite interesting. And then there's a PS6S, which is rumored to be a less powerful version, or maybe similar power to the dockable version, but just the console version of it. It's a little bit cheaper, but it may also be just a slim down the track. And it may be released a little later. But interesting if they are going to do the dockable portable, because that does sound quite appealing, having something that, even if it's a similar power to the PS5 on the go, pretty cool. And if it's got a 1080p screen, for example, yeah, that'd be great, because at that point, everything's going to be running at 60 to 120 frames. And if it's 1080, you know, you're going from what would have been 4K, you know, you got now a quarter of the resolution, so the games are going to run great. And then you've got the version, you plug it into the dock, and then you play it. Because the problem at the moment with the Switch is that, as much as Switch 2 is fun, I've only really played it portable, because it's still on the TV. It's like, well, I've got the PS5 right there that still plays games better, even though it's like 5 years older.
Yeah.
You know, I've got this thing that can do 4K gaming. And the Switch 2's like, oh, we've got some games that'll do it. Okay, like what? You know, so it's fine. I like it as a handheld, but yeah. So do you think that Sony will take a cut of Nintendo's market with this? What do you reckon?
I don't know, man. Like, maybe, but remember when the big kid on the block was Game Boy Advance, like Nintendo DS. Yeah, we got the PSP, which a fair amount of my friends had, but then they tried to follow up. They tried to follow it up with the PlayStation Vita, and like no one apparently did well in Japan. Everywhere else, not so much. So, unless they're thinking like the way forward is the Nintendo model of on the go and or at home, it will. We won't have clunky things like the PlayStation Portal,
which apparently does work better than you'd expect. People will be quite impressed with the PlayStation Portal. I know as well it looks really ugly with the big fat controls on the side, but it actually seems a lot more ergonomic than... my ROG Ally is not the most ergonomic thing. This is on a case, so it actually becomes a little more ergonomic with these little fat bits on the back. But it's not the most comfortable thing to hold because of the shape. So I actually quite like the them looking more like a controller on the side. Um, yeah, I think there is potential. I think as well having the PSP sold 80 million units, which is cool, good amount. Game Boy Advance 81 million. By that, Game Boy and Game Boy Color 118 million. DS 154. Switch is about to pass 153 million.
Dang.
So the only console that's outsold the DS, the PS2, and 160 million, which is pretty crazy. What did the 3DS?
PS2 was pretty crazy.
3DS was 75.94 million, so it's still pretty big. But when the Vita came out, I was like, why would I get? Because they kept being like, you can play Mortal Kombat on it, and I was like, why would I want to play a worse version of Mortal Kombat on here when I could play it on my Xbox at the time, right? But as I've gotten older, now I would actually like to be able to play the same games on a handheld as I would on my console.
Yeah.
And development-wise, one of the reasons why the Vita didn't do well it was developers. It was going to cost them about the same amount of money to develop it for the Vita as it would the PS3, and by the end of it, 10 to 15 million Vitas sold, versus 87.4 million PS3 sold. So you're like, why would I spend, back then, let's say $50 million? Why would I spend $50 million developing a Vita game when I could spend $50 million developing a PS3 game? So
did they also do that thing with, like, if you buy was it something like, if you buy this PS3 game or a game that's on Vita, you could get a code for the other one?
I think they did that for a bit, which is really cool. It's a good idea.
I think they did that with that that sort of complete edition of Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That wouldn't be a bad game on handheld, actually. It would have been a decent choice. Because I felt like Mortal Kombat, it was a dumbed down version, but the art style of Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I think, would actually work well on a handheld. Dude, I tried to play the PC version not that long ago because it had been a long time and I wanted to see if it held up. That game just kept fucking crashing on me.
Street Fighter Cross Tekken?
You know what? I said not long ago. It was 2019. Okay. It was 6 years ago, but it just kept crashing on me on PC.
I didn't like the fact that I've bought this game on Steam, and it's like, you want me to sign into my Windows Live account?
Yeah.
And it's like, nah. I mean, I played it for a bit, and I was just like, actually, Kazuya and Michelle, even though I don't really play Michelle in any Tekken games, I feel like they translate real well to the 2D format. Get out of the game, or I think it crashed or something, and I try to get back into it. It was like, sign into your Xbox Live account, and it was like, fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah, this shit sucks. So, yeah, I think as well, the thing about it is really cool is just having your saves and everything as well. Even if you've got the handheld version and the big console version, right? At least it's nice that with the cloud saves and that, you could play it on the handheld and then boot up the one on the big TV or whatever. It's just these nice things. I mean, it's the same if these Steam consoles and stuff happen, which I'll be talking a little bit about soon. But just having all the cloud saves and everything, just one unified system across the board is cool. And I think that's where Nintendo might end up lacking. So we've got the Switch, but a lot of people will want the more hardcore gaming experience as well as then you've got handheld. So, I think though the Nintendo will still do well because the exclusive games is where they'll get you. You're like, well, you're not getting Mario anywhere else. And currently, I don't think they would. I don't think they would even look at it. It's crazy, man. Luigi's Mansion is still such a good example. 3 sales. How many copies? Luigi's Mansion 3, which feels like is not a crazy popular series, sold 14.2 1.25 million units.
Dang.
Like, God of War Ragnarok, how many did that sell? About 15 million units. So it's got slightly more over that, but it's been on 2 consoles. It's been on PS4 and PS5, released earlier as well. And it's like probably the best selling of the current Sony offerings. And that's Luigi's Mansion.
A guy who sucks ghosts.
He loves sucking ghosts, man. He loves it. Currently, Mario Kart World has sold of June 5.63 million units, and their console's only just fucking come out. That's got to be like a fucking 50 million seller by the end of that fucking Switch 2's life, I swear to God. So, yep. PS6, we'll know more about it, I'm sure, and like, we'll probably know more about it in 2023. Or what, 2023? We're going back in time. 2027. This is news that excites me. There may be some Expedition 33 DLC in the works. So there's been some interviews with the game director, and they've also alluded to more games in the Clear Obscure franchise. So that's going to be, so Expedition 33 is going to be one of the stories in there. But if you don't want spoilers, skip ahead like 30 seconds. There's just a slight theory I have. In the game, they talk about painters versus writers. I wonder if they're going to explore that, because they did kind of tease it. They did kind of talk about that, like, and it did make you curious about who are the writers. I have no fucking idea how they would do that, especially like when you're in a painted world versus how are you going to be in just a written world. I don't fucking know. Like, what does that mean? And yes, it could be anything because it's writing, but I'm like, everything was like, so you're on a canvas and everything was like painting thing. I don't know what they would do or how they could do it, but I've got faith it's going to be awesome. Yeah. So this is great news, man. Whether it is DLC or a standalone DLC thing or what, I'll be there. I'll be there 100%.
This is good news.
Yeah. This is great news. I'm happy to see them do more in this kind of world, in this franchise, and then after maybe a couple more entries, do something else, do something different. But right now, I want more of this because it was so fucking good. It was so exceptional. I think it was Steam Frame. So Valve have a couple of patents and a couple of registered a couple of domains and things like that. And it's rumored to be a self-contained Steam VR headset. So maybe similar to the Quest, like Quest 2 and Quest 3 from Meta. I just completely missed the T out. Just Meta. Meta. I was trying to hold in a cough. it was hard out. So I imagine it run like a version of Steam OS, being a Linux-based system. Meta's headsets run like an Android system, which is cool. Valve have already made a headset before in the Valve Index. Hopefully they go for the new model or the new method of the cameras in the headset instead of the dishes outside, because it's just easier to manage if it's just the cameras in the headset in the current day. They also seem to be trying to reboot Steam machines, which would like Steam consoles kind of deal, but it didn't really take off, and they were having third parties make it. But I think because with the Steam Deck and everything, Steam OS is so much more fleshed out now than it was. And I think that the time could be right. And the appeal and part of this is you get other companies to make them, or they make their own as well. But even if they just go, we're not going to charge you a licensing fee to put Steam OS on your box, right? You know, because they've got to compete with Microsoft. Charges these companies like I don't think it's an obscene amount of money, but even if it's $50 to put Windows on these PCs, you know, getting OEM licenses and stuff, you can already just make that a little cheaper. But I think it's in Valve's best interest to do it themselves, because they can have the margins on these be absolutely just fuck all, like really just dirt cheap, and then be like, we're gonna make money on the game sales on the back end through Steam. So yeah, I'm super interested in seeing what they do, because I would much rather buy a headset that can link to just directly to Steam instead of through the Meta Quest store, even though I've got a bunch of games on there, because it would just be, I've got the games in the place I want them on my
More streamlined.
Yeah, kind of like we were saying it before about the idea with the PlayStation stuff. It's like everything in the one ecosystem get me locked in. So yeah, I got a lot of faith in Valve. They're one of the few companies I do have a lot of faith in, to be honest.
It'll be a hard pod when, if they do something like they fuck up and then we're like, okay, so, and you have to like try to break the news.
Yeah, the thing is, at the end of the day, man, I'm always happy to. We've talked about this, like some of our friends are like, if they like something, they can't be critical of it, and we're very much the opposite. We're going to be critical of something partly because we do like it as well.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I've set From Software as my favorite game studio ever, and man, they just cannot get technical performance down at all. They are dog shit at that. But for me, their gameplay and their level design is, for me, 10 out of 10, like the best in the biz. So I can forgive these sins because everything else they do is so fucking good. It's like top tier. But I'm like, please just make your games run better, dude. Please, for the love of God. So, yeah. So I would be critical of Valve. Like, I feel like Valve have had very, very few misses. Like, even the ones where they have missed, like stuff like the Steam Link was alright, and the Steam controller is okay, but ultimately a lot of that stuff ended up being kind of almost, I say beta testing, but they were selling them as products. But for a lot of the stuff for the Steam Deck, you know, those trackpads on the Steam Deck and stuff like that, they learned from the Steam controller. So even though those things weren't all massive hits, it's still like, okay, they were learning a lot from these experiences and stuff. And
like, there's some good ideas tucked away in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one, something that where I do think they missed on that game, Artifact, and they did like a Artifact 2.0 and it didn't do well, and it became too expensive to make like meta decks. The meta decks were too expensive, and it was because it was a good idea, but it was, you'd sell the cards through the Steam store. So like in Hearthstone, you get packs. Cool, they're just on your account. They mean nothing. Like, you can't sell those. You can't, you don't own those cards. You've got these digital things on that account. You can't sell, can't trade. The idea with Artifact was that, much like a real card game, you've got you'd have a physical card that you could sell. So the idea was you could sell these cards, the digital cards, on the Steam marketplace, and like a real card game, where you could trade them with your friends and stuff like that, which I think is a really good idea. But that just meant, like real card games, oh, here's a meta-defining card. Oh, everybody's going to mark it up to $50.
Yeah.
And there's like, if you don't have that card, well, too bad, you can't put it in. And that's where it became a problem. So I think a good idea, execution, maybe a little lacking in that, but it's very difficult because you kind of want it to be the free market out there, and then you're like, this is people who fucking take the piss now. Much like the free market. Yeah. So, well, that's plenty of glazing Valve, bro. I need to get back to play Half-Life Alyx again. There's something about, I do like VR, but playing VR, it's like you have to be like, I'm committing to this. I'm putting the headset on for 2 hours or whatever, and I can do nothing else in that time. I just have to play this game. And that's kind of part of it. Like, I play a game on PC and be like, I can play Hollow Knight, and I can play for 5 minutes and go, I'm going to get up and make myself a drink or whatever, right? I'll pause it. But you're putting the headset on, it's fucking, you're staying on.
Might as well have
Headsets.
it strapped.
The headset stays on during sex. I've had times where you can put a setting on the Quest 2 and I imagine the 3, and you can like double tap, and then I just triple tap. Don't worry about it. Double tap. And it'll use the cameras instead, so you can walk around and stuff with the headset on. If you're like, dude, I'm locked in right now, I don't want to take this off. So if my dog's like making a noise, I'll boop, boop, and then I look at him. But it's in black and white because the cameras are average. They're not supposed to be good. I think they're better on the Quest 3. Yeah. So it's just a handy thing. Then you go back to the game. Boop. So, yeah. I need to finish Half-Life Alyx at some point because it is the best VR game in terms of fidelity and like just on it being super technical as well. There's a spot early in the game where you've got this whiteboard and you're like, oh shit, and you pick up a marker and you can draw on it as well. You're like, oh, wicked.
Oh,
you can draw on the window. First thing I do is draw a penis, of course. Absolutely. Man-child behaviour. I think I would, to guess, maybe 70% of men, I would say, drew a penis that played that. I swear. That's a statistic out of nowhere, but my sample size is currently 3 for 3 that did that. Come on. A lot of dudes would have done that. So, yeah. Shout out Valve. Man, we love Valve.
Shout out drawing dicks.
Shout out drawing dicks. So, is an interesting one. It's about the Unreal Engine stutter and optimization issues. So, Tim Sweeney has made some statements about this and said, many studios build for top-tier hardware first and leave optimization and low-spec testing for the end. Ideally, optimization should begin early before full content build-out. So just saying, like, get everything in place before you start building all the content for the game. We're doing two things: strengthening engine support with more automated optimization across devices. So just that'll help optimize the games for the developers. And expanding developer education so optimize early becomes standard practice. If needed, our engineers can step in. He's saying, you cunts are slack. You can't start doing it right. And then the next part was game complexity is much higher than 10 years ago, so it's hard to solve purely at an engine level. Engine makers and game teams need to collaborate. We're also bringing Fortnite optimization learnings into Unreal Engine so titles run better on low-spec PCs. So, is this cope from Tim Sweeney, or is this the truth? And it's probably something in between. And
Fortnite optimization
is exceptional. That game runs really well, and it still looks really good as well. And yes, the other team that made the engine, but I really do think, I say it's a bit of both, but I think I probably lean more towards what Tim Sweeney's saying, because not all Unreal Engine games have that stutter. A lot of them do. Probably more of them do than don't. But some of them have figured it out. Some of them have got it running perfect. My dog just fucking kicked the door in his sleep. You fucking idiot, eh? You fucking little idiot. Yeah, so as much as I'm not, well, I don't like the Epic Games Store, but I don't have too much of a problem with Epic Games itself. Script will comment about how they killed Unreal Tournament to put them on Fortnite. But yeah, I think there is a lot of truth in that, in what he's saying. And he does mention the games are more complex, and he mentions they've got a big support team for working with developers. So I think it is going to be a case of that, like he says, educating them making more tools, and just working with these teams to make their games run better, which is great.
For when you're just like automated optimization, it's just like, are more people losing jobs to AI?
Yeah, what was your position? Game optimizer? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, optimize these fucking nuts on your way out, bitch.
Optimize your CV, bitch.
And they put it into AI and they're like, oh yeah, they actually did optimize it for me. Thank you. So we just want these games to run better. And look, if over the next 5 years, if these games don't start running better and so on, then look, we'll know something's up. We'll know okay, it's not the case. 5 years, game development is like a 5 year, 5, 6, 7 year thing now for these AAA games, right? So if don't expect anything to get better immediately. I would say a matter of years. Just fine. At least they're putting something out. I think as well, there's a reason why so many people use Unreal Engine in current day. Like it's got to be all right if the developers can see the potential of that. But there's less so now, but sometimes there is a bit of a look to an Unreal Engine game, especially like a AA Unreal Engine game. You can tell. You look at it and go, I know what you built this on. And that's fine. The engine looks good.
So,
even back in the day, Unreal 3 was hilarious because, Gears of War and Unreal Tournament, I think it was just Unreal Tournament 3, the characters are just big fucking blocky dudes. Just beefcakes. Like, every character is like, it was easier to make everyone a beefcake, I swear.
hell yeah.
Massive jawline. Dude, just fucking Chad simulators. So, yeah. Let's see what happens going forward. This story here, I put in this morning, and I did this one just for me. So Conan O'Brien has brought back his Clueless Gamer series, where he played a bit of Borderlands 4, and the game fucking crashed.
Damn.
I'm not even a Borderlands hater. Yeah, what's going on, Randy? I'm not a Borderlands hater, just a Randy Pitchford hater. Borderlands 1, Once Upon a Time, was my favourite game ever. I'm not even kidding. I loved that game. I adored it when it came out. So, yeah. It's pretty funny. It's one of those unfortunate things, because it's not going to be the release build of the game. It is going to be a slightly earlier build. Playing on PC, where things are more likely to break than console, to be fair. It's just the nature of PC. You alright, Keith? My dog's just making some noise. Come here. Sounded like he almost had to cough something up.
Yeah, he picked up what you've got.
Dad's talking about games, alright? You still have to hold on. Nah, if he keeps seeming, and it was just a little, like a, didn't cough anything up. So if he gets worse, I'll let him out. Alright. So yeah, Borderlands 4. Are you gonna dabble? You gonna dabble, mate? Day one?
No, because I haven't really dabbled any of the Borderlands games.
Steven, though, if you were a real fan, you'd make it happen.
Yeah. Something ice cream shops.
Saving up for a Sega game. Yeah, we've been there before. We've all been there, Randy, mate.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. Unblock me on Twitter, you coward.
Nah, I got a mate, workmate who's getting it, and he's a bit of a hard man to please when it comes to games, and I'll be like, oh, so you're gonna pirate this one? It's like, can't. And he's like, why? It's like, de novo, so I'm gonna have to buy it. And I was like, okay.
Damn, big pirate hours for this guy.
Yes, because usually it would be under the mindset of it's like, oh, if I don't have to spend money for it, I will not. This is not an endorsement or anything. And he's just like, but he was just like, well, I can't pirate it, so I'm just gonna buy it. It's like, hey man, fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, at least he's honest, you know.
Yeah.
So we had a really interesting discussion off stream about a week ago. And this is, I want to give Stephen credit for this, because this wasn't Stephen. Because Stephen did bring it forwards. And it was about going through a video game depression. And it's a really interesting thing to talk about. And it's like usually playing a game that's so fucking good that you can't find enjoyment in other games for a while. So I've had this twice, so I'll go through my couple and then I'll get Seba to go through his. So the first one for me, they're both from software. Spoiler alert. Dark Souls 1. I just made it Dark Soul, just a singular soul. Dark Souls 1. When I first played that, I really thought the game was so exceptional. And I still think there's so much to like in the game. And it's aged okay, but not amazing. But the first time I played through it, so the very first time I picked up Dark Souls 1, because I had a friend that had picked it up and put it down, and then I was like, oh, give me a go.
Crown?
And then there's nothing like a crown. So I picked it up, I played through a bit. People said that the boss that normally filtered people was the gargoyles. And so I got up to the gargoyles, I beat them like fairly comfortably. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. And then there's an optional path you can go. And I actually got to the Moonlight Butterfly, which is generally a pretty easy boss, but I was really having a hard time dodging its attacks. And I was like, man, I'm just not feeling this now. So I put it down for probably a year, maybe 6 months or so. And then the next time I picked it up, it just completely clicked with me. I got back up there, I smoked that, I went down, beat the Capra Demon, and I was like, because Capra Demon was another one that was often a filter boss. I didn't have too much trouble with him. And I was like, man, this is the best thing I've ever played in my life. I was like, holy shit, this is fucking incredible. So get all the way through Dark Souls 1, and then I just kind of felt, after I finished it, felt amazing. The last boss fight as well, it's not real hard, but it's just, the music is, it's so thematic. It's a quite sad fight, and there's a song that's just piano playing that the community has called the song now Plin Plin Plon. That's how it sounds like. But yeah, I was just so blown away, and I felt like I'd also accomplished something massive in my friend group, because I was the first person to finish it. My friend group was going around like, people were like, Lewis beat Dark Souls. And people were like, what the fuck, isn't that game impossible? Oh my god. So many of my friends from that moment got into it, just knowing that the game was beatable. Me and my mate Ruben, we've had times where we talk about Dark Souls for hours and Souls likes, man. We just fucking love that shit. For a period of time, we were living that shit.
We were just built different.
Yeah. And just other games didn't hit for me for a while. And in more recent history, so 2022, and Elden Ring came out, and I'm like, I'm a person who is generally very critical of open worlds, because I feel like here's a massive world to explore with nothing in it, or it's so like, oh, it's so big and you can go 20 minutes without finding shit. I'm like, I just don't fucking care for open worlds that much. Like, it's just, And most games, I look at the map and I see a million fucking markers, and then I get anxious and then don't want to play the game. Like Assassin's Creed, I see that and I'm going, oh, nah, I can't do it. Can't do it. I don't want a million fucking waypoints on my map. Just put a gun in my fucking mouth. So anyway, I'm a little hesitant, but I'm like, okay, it's out, it's From Software. They're my favorite studio. I'm still going to play it, and then I'm like, this is the best game I've ever played in my life. I was like, holy shit, this is so exceptional. You look at the map at the start of the game, and you pick out these like pieces of the map, and oh yeah, map's pretty big. You get another piece of it. You're like, damn, the map's bigger than I thought. You get another piece. Holy shit, this map is fucking huge. And then there's a whole like underground section as well, and like you're like, fucking hell. It just kept expanding and expanding. There's so many dungeons. Like, mate, the dungeons themselves, it's probably the weaker part of the game, because there's over 100 dungeons, and they'll recycle some of the older bosses and stuff, and the layouts and the catacombs kind of areas. So some of them look similar, but there's still so many dungeons to explore, and some of them were things to figure out, kind of like puzzles. Some of them were just like kind of combat challenges that I was like, I want to do every fucking dungeon in the game. And just the way that their open world design it's very hands off. The closest thing to it is Breath of the Wild, which I know there's a bit of emptiness in there, but there was just such a sense of discovery in Breath of the Wild. Around like every corner, there was something new for you to discover. Once again, they're kind of little shrines, little kind of dungeons as well were fun. Sometimes there was little puzzles in those. Sometimes it was combat. But Elden Ring kind of took the best parts of that, and then had their own combat and stuff. It's just, and when I, it's just so exceptional. And once I finished that, I really did feel kind of like, yeah, I ended up finishing it. Nothing else was interesting me. I finished the game again. First playthrough took me 90 hours, and I'm normally someone's like, oh yeah, bro, it's a 100+ hour RPG. That immediately puts me off. Immediately, I'm like, oh, bro, I don't have fucking 100 hours. I played through this motherfucker twice, bro. I got 150 hours on that bad boy. I've got now with the DLC, I got like 200 hours. I'm just not that kind of person for the most part. I finish a game once and then I don't touch it again. And I was like, this is something special, man. And then once I finished it, I just felt, yeah, no games were hitting. So I ended up getting really into working out. And over a period of a few months, I lost like 12 kilos because I just couldn't. And then I got lazy again. And I'm still down 30 kilos overall, so pretty good. But if I kept that up, I would have lost so much more weight. And I got to thank Elden Ring for that video game depression. Because it really did. Sometimes you play a game just truly just so exceptional that no other game for months will hold up. Like 3 months, I just couldn't play anything. It just didn't get me interested. Hearthstone actually was the thing that brought me back. Dipping my toe into Hearthstone, just playing it, doing my dailies, and then I'm like, okay, I'm back now.
Yeah.
So Stephen, you got a couple of examples as well.
Yeah. So, I was just gonna say, you were saying it's like, oh, the map's so big. Oh, the map's so big, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I'm so small.
Yeah, it's crazy. Those fragments say, because they shows you, oh, you got this part of the map now. You're like, oh, wicked. Oh, again, oh fuck. Ah, Jesus. Oh, what the fuck?
Oh, jeez, dude.
It's yeah. That's such a special experience.
So
it's also a game it's somehow as well, because they're pretty hardcore games, and it managed to just break through into the zeitgeist, and it looks like it sold about, here I think it might have sold more than it says. Let me see. Oh yeah, at 30 million units globally for a game that's considered truly fucking hardcore. Like a game that's like a very difficult game, selling 30 million units is pretty fucking crazy. Shout out From Software on that one. Sorry, go on.
So the first time I ever suffered video game depression is when I was a wee lad. I must have been like,
right now.
Yeah. No, it must have been like 15 or so. And I was absolutely enthralled with the Game Boy Advance game Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. I was just like, dude, the pixel art in it, this is so good. Like the range of enemies that you can just like every time I swallowed up like a fighter, you get the red headband and you start doing auras. I was just like, damn, this is so good. And like, I didn't have school, so I'll just get up and as early as I can, just chill in my shirt and boxers, just playing this game because I was obsessed with it. And then I got to the end, and then I was just like, dang. I wouldn't say I was moping, but I would just, because I'm pretty sure it had like a time attack or a boss rush in it. But I remember just sitting down in the lounge, just like sort of staring off, and my mum's like, "You alright?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And it's like, "Oh, why don't you go play that Kirby game?" Finished it. And it's like, "Oh, okay, why don't you go outside, or why don't you play another game?" It's like, "Don't wanna." And it's just like, "What do you mean?" It's just like, there isn't a game out there at the moment like it. And I was just like, I I don't really want to do anything else. I just want to think about that game that I finished. And yeah, dude, I was just like, I had plenty other games, but it was just like, you're not Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, and you're not my first ever playthrough it. So like, oh no, very rough. And second, my game of a lifetime, um, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. I mean, an opening like hour or so, like well before things start really kicking off, and it explains why the characters get into situations they're in. Um, Ichiban is like doing right by people, and I gotta say it keeps so much out of this because like amazing game, and he does this real awesome thing, and I was just like just real holding back the tears because I was just like, man, he went through a lot in the first game, and it's just like he's earned this happiness, and he's just trying to just give back to the community. I was just like, man, I'm so happy for this fictional character. I'm so heckin' moved that I'm just snorting back tears, and like great combat system that heavily improved on the turn-based combat of Like a Dragon. Um, yeah, I've said this to Lewis many a times, and I'm pretty sure I've said it on the pod. It's like if I could like erase a game from my memory of playing, it's like it would be Infinite Wealth. What it would be to play that game with brand new eyes. I'd be like, damn, shit blew me away. It
I get
was so
that.
good.
Man, originally for me that was Dark Souls 1, but now at 32 years old, if I erased it, I might not be good enough to do it with an erase from my memory. This was like when I was in my 20s, it would have been that because I thought it was so exceptional. And then now, when I played through it again earlier in the year, there were a couple of fights I had a really hard time with, and I was like, I don't remember struggling this much. So, yeah, but especially something that's story driven more than like hands, absolutely. I think The Last of Us 1 for me would be another game I would love to have no memory of because it's very story heavy.
You would, I just imagine like you're saying it's like wouldn't want to have Elden Ring erased from your memory. You're playing it and you still got the muscle memory, and you're like, it's all coming back to me. And then you're like, oh, it's all coming back to me.
Yeah.
Just ruins the experience.
I managed to break through the wizard's spell by just pure muscle memory. Yeah, I could see it. It's funny. Imagine that your memory of it's completely erased. But would you still have muscle memory? I don't know. Is that how that works? Would you be like,
my hands are just doing quarter circles all by themselves?
yeah? If we removed all your memory of playing Street Fighter, somehow you'd still be able to play Street Fighter. I just have a feeling, eh? I just know you would.
I would just be doing it, and I'd just be like shaking, and just turn to the person that's like, I only know what a quarter of a circle is because of this input. It's like, what's going on?
How did I do this? Speaking of, oh, sorry. Do you have any more to say for the video game depression?
No. I feel like I've encapsulated my longing to not remember for the sake of being able to play bangers for the first time.
Yeah, man. I really liked as well that because mine were both really purely gameplay experiences and like overcoming and like and that feeling, and yours was like, well, at least the second one, and I'm sure you still enjoyed the gameplay, but it was more about the moving story and how it affected you emotionally. To be fair, in a way, Expedition 33, I didn't hit a video game depression, but I really did feel this like I felt a lot of things playing that game. And that's a game I feel like I wouldn't mind being able to play for the first time again, of how it made me feel. Like I find it very rare for games to make me feel things because I'm playing very gameplay focused games. I feel accomplishment, but I don't get in my feelings too much with games. And Expedition 33 really made me feel a lot of things. Bro, I heard that music at the Game Awards and I felt a little emotional. I felt a little upset.
In a good way.
Yeah, it made me feel really good. It was like when Alex was playing through it and at the end of the game again. She's not the most emotional woman, but she's doing the end of the game and I was like, oh, bro. I'm still undefeated. I haven't cried and watching any movies, any TV, any games, but I've been real close, bro. I've been this fucking close like 3 times.
She hears you like sort of sniffing, and then like when she goes to turn to look to see if you're okay, you've already left and gone back, and you're wearing like the giant like fucking bug sunglasses to cover up your face. You're like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Game hit me in the field. So that would be another one, and especially interesting it's so recent. Like I say, not the same, not video game depression, but just play again for the first time. Because that's a one as well that I know would hit and would click with me, just because the emotional resonance of the game, for sure. But speaking of quarter circles, I haven't put this on my list, but in the what are we playing, I realise we also forgot a segment, but don't worry about it. I guess I can link that in anyway. I got an email yesterday being like, you've got the closed beta access for 2XKO, the Riot Games fighting game. I've played like 3 offline games against bots before work today. And I like what I played so far. You can definitely see some of that Rising Thunder DNA in there, but it is quite different. So it is a tag fighter, but Rising Thunder was more simplified than this. This is like still easy because you don't have your quarter circles and half circles and things like that, but it's like, oh, do this special move by holding or press back at R2 or RT, depending on what controller you're using. Stuff like that. And I don't have too much to say about it yet, but it's very pretty. Like, really, really nice looking. Something, though, that was like, oh, here's how you do these combos. Try a combo with XXX and YYY. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I actually get into the practice tool, and those combos aren't there. I'm like, what do you mean? I was having to do a lot of X, YB. Like, classic rotate kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, interesting.
No,
but,
like a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. So and then like a right trigger to kind of chain in a special move kind of deal. But yeah, I've still got a lot to learn. But first impressions are, it's pretty. It looks like visual language is pretty clear, which is nice, and it's responsive, which is good, and it's not as technical input heavy as like Street Fighter, for example.
Modern controls, mate.
Oh,
there is one thing I'd love to just quickly put out there before we move to our next segment. Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra is out. It is out on PS4, PS5, PC, Switch, and mobile. It is a Dragon Ball themed MOBA, which has characters that range from Dragon Ball Z. They also have movie characters like Bojack. We even get Baby from GT, so GT representation is not being left out. And we also get all the way
the Baby, the rapper.
Yeah. And we also get a little bit of Daima representation in the form of Kid Goku. So, reminds me of us playing the Pokemon MOBA. I thought that was fun. We just fell off. Pretty keen to dabble Squadra. It's out now.
I'm installing it right now.
Yoy.
I forgot to do the special Game Pass, but you know what?
It's got to be
Silk Song.
As
soon as I was like, oh, I forgot a segment. I bought it. It was $28, $29 New Zealand. Bro, that's That's fuck all, really, for a game, right? So, it had to be Silk Song. It's a hard smash from me, and I haven't played much of it yet. I'm about 3 hours in, and it is great, man. It is a really good Metroidvania so far. It's funny looking at my friends' achievements. I've clearly gone a wrong way and missed something because I have. So both my friends that have been playing it have got the grant your first wish. What does that even mean? I haven't got that.
Wish.
I have not got that at all. Old mate Charm had clearly gone a different way and got some other achievements before I did, and then I ended up beating a boss before Charm. So I don't know, man. I've gone. They do a lot of clever things in these games to try to guide you down certain paths, and I don't know if I'm just fucking stupid or just oblivious, but I barely ever take the right path. I did in Breath of the Wild. They do a lot to guide you, and you get to like the fish village. I did that, right? But my boss was someone who, he was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, you would have gone to the fish village, right? He's like, no. Well, what do you fucking mean? But sometimes that they can do so much to subtly guide you, but if you're an idiot like me, it's not enough. So I've been going all over the place now, but I'm starting to look at the map more. You have to equip something instead of like a get more currency. I've had to equip something that tells you where you are on the map because they like to be tricky with it. But I'm using that now, so I'm starting to clear out bits of the map and true Metroidvania fashion. Oh, you got to a part of the map. Oh, you need a key here. All right, fuck off somewhere else. But yeah, the big difference in this is, you know, they've got pogoing, and they also had that in My Goat, Shovel Knight, where you attack down and you just bounce off the enemy. This one, it's on an angle, so it is harder to continuously pogo. You keep having to reposition to keep bouncing off them. And in a way, it's a good thing because pogoing was just so fucking strong. You could just abuse the fuck out of it, which I'm sure I did. It's been a long time since I played it. But yeah, you know, they've given me a special move so far where you can use some of your meter that you also use for healing. They show you there's a beast trapped in the silk, and then you get a move that just fucking slices through all of it. You're like, oh, that's cool. So use a bit of meter, deal some more damage. But it's still very early days, and I'm sure I will have more to say on it next time. But absolute hella smash from me. Have you got a Smash or Game Pass, Stephen? Or is it going to be Silk Song as well?
It's going to be Silk Song because I was watching my mate just get absolutely fucking frustrated in a Discord call because he was sharing his stream, playing it, and just seeing him getting mad. But he's also just like, man, this is such a fucking good game. Like, it looks great.
Is that meme of like girlfriend being like, oh, boyfriend getting frustrated? Well, fuck this game. I hate this shit. It's like, oh, babe, do you want to put the game down? No, I'm having a great time.
Yeah, basically. And then I was just like, oh, you're not playing. Then we jumped on Discord the next day. It's like, oh, not playing Silk Song. It's like, I need a break, man. And it's just like, it's hard. I suck. I just need to regroup and then like get back at it. It's just like, I love the game. It's good, but it's kicked my ass. I'm just not in the mindset for it at the moment, but I'm going to get back to it.
It's good to know when you're not in the right state of mind for it as well. Yeah, it's good. It's good shit, man. So Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. So I finished it. It's good. Look, this game's story is nothing special. So I'm going to give some real slight spoilers. If you don't want it, skip forward like a minute. But so you start off playing as Man Ninja, and you're doing melee attacks and going through your side scroll levels and stuff, and doing I can't remember what they call it now, but if you do a jump and then you press A, then you bounce off the enemy's heads, it does less damage than your normal strikes. Well, it kind of is pogoing, but they had their own name for it. But let's just call it pogoing because it is kind of the same thing. It does less damage hitting them with that than your normal attacks. So you bounce it off the heads and you get through the level and you're like, oh, mean. And then you end up playing as a girl who's got a ranged attack and you're just throwing these daggers and you're like, oh, mean. And then the story stuff happens and it's like, oh, you're going to put my soul into this dagger, so stab me with it. And you're like, oh, yeah, all right. So she's now with you in like some spirit form, so the characters are always talking to each other. So now you've got a ranged attack that uses meter. You then get a special attack that you can also equip the different special attacks. So you might want to just throw a shuriken, or you might throw one that kind of comes back to you like a boomerang. One's a grenade, stuff like that, where you're getting currency by beating these levels while finding the certain items in there. So you can buy them at the shop and then equip them. So you can change your loadout. There's a couple of passive ones. I had one that was just if you had a 3 kill streak, each enemy you'd kill when you're at the 3 kill streak or higher would give you health back and just keep me healthy through the levels, which was good. Dude, I heard people saying this game was easy. These bosses were fucking hard, man. I was having a hard time. I was playing it on stream as well. At one stage, I did a Sunday stream, and I struggled on some of these. But there's no big boss run backs or anything. It's just the boss is right there. So you just have another go and another go. And then you had a big special move, which I was a cheap cunt and used the one that just puts a healing aura thing around you, and you just stand in there and just heal up.
Do you just say at the start that the main character is Ninja Man?
Yeah. I can't remember his name.
Ryu Hayabusa?
Are you actually Ryu in that? Or are you a different ninja?
I think you are of the like Hayabusas.
Let's say, are you Ryu in that? You're a redhead. Ryu a redhead? You can't be a redhead named Ryu.
That makes you a red dragon.
Whoa. Kenji.
Kenji.
So that just feels like you've just taken another really Japanese name. Like it feels like Westerners coming up with a Japanese name. It's like,
well, I know that
Kenji.
I think like Ryu's dad is called like Joe Hayabusa.
Badass. Dude, it's so funny. The story of this segment on Wikipedia says the game story runs parallel to the events of Ninja Gaiden 1988 and stars new protagonist Kenshi Mozu, who defends Hayabusa village from demons while Ryu Hayabusa is in America. But it doesn't even tell you who the other protagonist. That's all it tells you about the story.
Damn.
And honestly, the story wasn't why I was there. It was the gameplay. And the Game Kitchen and the guys who did Blasphemous made this, which I am a big fan of Blasphemous. I never finished the second one, but I had just... So I picked up the first one, played it for a bit, put it down, and then came back to it like a couple years later, finished the first one. I was like, this is great. And then I went immediately onto the second one, and then I've put it down. Because it was probably just a lot back-to-back. But they are exceptional games. I think I told you about Blasphemous. I had one of those moments in it, and I was like trying to beat this boss, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, there's got to be some strategy I'm just doing wrong. Watched a YouTube video. Oh, it's a skill issue. Oh, fuck. But that was good to know that I was like, I just had to get good. It was like that. That's all it is. It's not that you don't know what the strategy is. It's just you're not executing it well enough. And I'm like, okay, good to know.
It's not that you don't understand the tech. It's just you're not using the tech.
Yeah, that was it. So yeah, it is a fun game. I like it. It's not an exceptional game, but it is very good, and it is worth playing. I don't think it was too expensive.
Dude, I think it's like $35 in New Zealand.
Yeah, $36, $35.99. It's a really, really good price for that price. It is an exceptional game.
Yeah.
Because it is cheap. And I know now with Silk Song out, which is a little cheaper, some people might be like, well, it's not that good because Silk Song. Nah, this game is great, man. It is absolutely worth people's time. I know people are now saying that Shinobi that came out is better, and people are like, look at the art style of Shinobi. I prefer the art style of Ninja Gaiden Ragebound.
Same.
I know that with Shinobi, technically, it is a more... how would you describe it? The art's probably more technical on there, but I really, really just like the Ragebound style, man. I think it looks beautiful.
The pixel art as opposed to the real sleekness of Shinobi.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think the pixel art looks so fucking good in this game. It's one of the best examples of pixel art, to be fair, recently, but if not ever, to be quite honest. Um, I think the art in this is great. The soundtrack, dude, when I was streaming it, I was like, bro, this soundtrack fucking rules. And like every like, I, I started saying, I'm like, bro, I want to talk about how much the soundtrack's good like every 5 minutes. I was like, holy shit. If Expedition 33 soundtrack wasn't so exceptional, this might be my second favorite soundtrack of the year. Legitimately, like I
Hell
think it
yeah.
is. Like the Mario Kart soundtrack, sure, it is really truly excellent, and it's a lot of like, here's an old Mario song, but we've done it in a more jazz style, but they sound amazing. This still did more for me personally. Um, yeah, great soundtrack. They killed it. They knew the assignment. The game is not expensive. Yeah, really shout out to the Game Kitchen. They cooked on this one. See what I did there? See what I did there? So what do you do in the kitchen? What do you do in the kitchen, Stephen?
Smoke.
Talk to your boys and drink beers. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were at a mate's place on Saturday night, and then we just somehow ended up in the kitchen. We're like, how does this always happen? how do we always end up in the kitchen drinking beers, having a chat? Like, pretty wild. The next game we've been playing, Peak. So, Stephen, you're actually far better at going in depth on games than I am in detail. Do you want to talk a little bit about Peak?
So basically, Peak is a up to 4-person co-op friend slop game that we've been having a right time
Is that a
with.
slur? Is that a slur?
We'll find out. Where basically it's first person, and the goal is to scale the peak, like get up the mountain to a nice campfire with marshmallows. The thing is, you have things to take into account the terrain, but also climbing has its a little meter, sort of like no, I was about to say no, it's nothing like the grip meter from Shadow of the Colossus, but
Yeah,
as
it's like a
time,
stamina bar.
yeah,
Technically, this game's a Souls-like. It's got a stamina bar.
um, but basically, the more stuff that you have, your stamina bar will get decreased by things like weight, by status inflictions, like you can get burnt, poisoned, but also hunger. So you're trying to scale up, but you're also trying to stay away from getting ticks attached to you, um, getting sunburnt. That sucks. Um, Getting frost damage. But the also cool thing is you can go up into like groups of two, and you say that you have a higher level of stamina. You can scale up where you need to be, and then if you press a button while the other person is scaling, you can pull them up, which is also cool. You'll find suitcase luggages that will have things that range from food to rope, but also probably my favorite item is the cannon, where you just pot a mate in there, you light it, and they fucking just go ragdolled um, to wherever. Um,
You say
where
your favourite's the cannon, but we know it's the thick mints.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. It's the mints. How thick were the mints? But also we came across quite the revelation. I think it was either last stream or stream 4, and that's press on computer to emote.
Oh, that's right.
That got I'll say a solid 8 out of 10 game to 8.5.
Hey.
Chucking some twerking emotes, and it's like that's a 10. Also the
That's a
characters
10.
also the characters is like real cute and stupid. It's also what I find hilarious is it's sort of like lethal like Repo, that when you talk, because they use a proximity chat, when you talk, their character's little fat mouth will move. But there will be times where like Weiss will be standing here and I'll be slightly in his field of vision, so his character's like side eye me like that.
Yeah,
It's it's a good game. I like it. We're gonna
it's good
bash
fun.
it. We're gonna bash it out next Wednesday, most likely.
Yeah, I think we'll play it again. I think we've got. I think we've said we've probably got one more in the tank. I think coming up, but that's good though.
Oh yeah.
It's and then we'll play probably Helldivers after that. Should be good. Oh, one more thing is so the start of it, you're at an airport, you're going on holiday, and the plane crashes, and that's why it's just luggage scattered around the map.
Yeah.
It is
Well,
also procedurally generated stuff, so it's like each day there's new maps that you have to do, and then the last map is always climb out of a fucking volcano.
yeah.
Pretty pog.
And the character customization is a passport. That's pretty cool. The more times you finish a run, you can unlock like new clothing, but then there's also goals to do, like don't die in a single run.
Yeah, the gear, the cosmetic gear you get is based on achievements, which is really cool. Like a really cool idea.
Get Bing Bong to the peak.
Bing bong.
That's not a slur. It's a little soft collectible.
Depends on who you ask. You can't just call someone a soft collectible.
That's all. Damn.
Good times. So, and you've been playing something else.
Okay, so I've had video game depression. This game is giving me video game faithfulness. Like video game monogamy, if you will. Um
No
the
one will. No one.
oh, so video game depression, it's just like you're depressed because there's no other game like it and you don't want to play any of it. I would say video game monogamy is I only want to play this game. I've haven't been in, and this is an endorsement. I don't think I've done any sets, maybe one set in Street Fighter 6 since I bought it. The art style is very storybook-esque, and basically the game has its own prologue. I won't spoil anything there. Then you get to the hub world, which is called Sacrament, and that's when they have this little thing of like town development, not sim, but you talk to this guy and he'll need like resources for you to like build a proper blacksmith shop or a alchemy shop and stuff like that. Some of the citizens, like the potion seller, you have to do a little side quest to get him. Um, it's when I usually see a game that's like Souls like, I'm a little bit put off, but no, not this one. It's like isometric, like say your Hades, I'd say Hades or like Diablo. Um, when you level up, you put like every stat is in 10. You've got health, strength, stamina, dex, um, the magic one, focus, which is like your mana bar. Um, and also you can put stats into your the amount of weight you can carry. Because if you are in the very light, like wearing very light armor, you get a dash. If you're medium, you'll do rolling. But if you're heavy, you'll do these sluggish, like fat rolls. But you also won't get knocked down by enemy attacks. Um,
This sounding more like a Souls like. I'm just saying. bat rolling is a Souls-like term we do throw around.
Dude, it's been so sick. The cinematics, like I remember fighting a story boss, and then I was like, fuck yeah, I nailed him. And then he has a second form. My little tip for people getting into it. So, because you can go to campfires and cook food, that can like give stat boost or like healing. You also get things called runes, which are like abilities. You can put abilities into your weapons. The weapon ranges from like fists to sword shield, katana, big fat buster sword, halberds, hammers. Um, my recommendation is get a utility rune for healing, and have like a fair like maybe like 15, 16 into your focus meter. So that means that you can get healies. You can pop like 3 healies before having to um do some damage to build up. Also, they have a really awesome mode that I was like, damn, this is real hard. Then I forgot a very important bit of information. It's called the Crucible, which is 5 levels where you have to kill every enemy in the area, and then you move on to the next one. And I was like, dang, this is real hard. And then I saw that there was like a little notification, or I was like, oh, press the start button. I was like, what does this do? Turns it into a roguelike. You have these random like buffs you can do. These little buffs you can do for your run. You purchase them. You have like commons, rares, and then you have plagues. Also, like in your equipment and weapon, you get plague, where it's like they'll have really good stats, but they'll have like a drawback, like your equip loadout is doubled, or you lose health while in combat, but you do shit dick ton of damage. So yeah. Also, they are working diligently to release the co-op mode, which is up to 4 people. I'm really looking forward to it. Trying to get some when it does release, and some of the boys who have it, and be like, oi, let's go create a new realm and let's bash at it.
Yeah, man. And then at the moment, I'm like, I don't want to drop $60 on it, but I'm down when it is on sale.
Because I think
They
it
give
might
hot
get a
go.
price hike when it leaves early access.
I wonder if it'll end up more than 60, because it's already not. It's not cheap already, but who knows? Who knows what'll happen? Yeah, I've heard good things. I would like to give it a red hot go at some point. It's on my list. It is high up on my Steam wish list.
I can confirm it is on his wish list.
It is on there. I'm not lying. I swear. Not like all those other games I say are on the wish. No, they. If I say it's on my wish list, it is. Of course it is, dude. I've got 602 games on there. What's not on my wish list?
Yeah, I've been chipping away at mine from like I have 834.
50 list.
You love
Steven,
this.
I believe you've got a. I believe you've got a review there, mate. What do you?
So my Steam review is for No Rest for the Wicked. I've seen that there's a lot of like reviews that are like no rest for the dev, no rest for the GPU, but Jinn on Steam says, "Is this really a Souls-like? Character rolls through barrels. Very well then."
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that guy was so good. There's something about Souls like you see just a stack of barrels in a corner, you're like, I am compelled to roll through them. I can't help it, man. Something about it. Dark Souls 1 especially, like the breaking barrel sound is just ingrained into my brain. I could hear it like somewhere and I'd just fucking turn and be like, who's breaking barrels in DS1? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is, man, but you just got to do it. That's a good. That's a good review. That tickled me. So I've got a review as well for Silk Song. It says a game about bugs where you're a bug that fights other bugs. The only other thing that really bugs me is how long it took for this buggy little bug of a game to finally bug its way onto my screen. 10 out of 10, no software bugs, just actual bugs. That was from Umaru. A lot of bugs in that little sentence there, but
It
was a bit
paints
of fun.
picture. It paints a bloody
It was a
picture.
bit of fun. I liked it. It was silly. But yeah, man. It's another episode of the No Scrubs podcast. It was a bit of fun. I feel like for how big the doc was, we got through it fairly quick. I mean, it's nearly at 2 hours, but we got through pretty timely manner for how big the doc was this week, which is nice. But it's good, man. We had a lot of good stuff. Thank you for the idea of the video game depression. That was a great one. I really enjoyed that. And
Video game.
and then those things that you talked about at the start, I thought I might. They're interesting things, like game size and just the idea of multiplayer skins off. I think when we think of these things, we'll bring them forwards. We'll probably won't always have them, but it's just when we think of it. It's like, right,
Nice wee shake up.
yeah. The format's pretty loose at the moment, anyway. Like, I'm a very rigid person with routine and things like that in my life, so I normally like things being organised. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, we'll mix this up a little. Let's chuck that in there. I think as long as it makes sense where we put it, it's no big deal. So yeah, it's all a bit of fun. So if you, by some miracle, enjoyed the ramblings from us today, like, comment, subscribe.
And
Do the thing Stephen likes.
yeah, press that yum button. Do the thing I like. Also, feel free to comment about depression, video game related.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about your real fucking problems.
Do not care.
I don't care for it, mate.
But if I personally
I
know
don't
you,
even think it's real. No, I'm kidding.
but if I
That's a
personally
joke,
know you,
please.
just know that I care the most.
He cares more than I do.
Yeah.
No, but if you are struggling out there, talk to someone. Hey, even if it's about video game depression, talk to someone. We've been there. It's
There can be coffee talk.
Yeah. Exactly, or a decaf coffee talk for me. I feel like you're a real sick and twisted person for enjoying the taste of coffee and having it without the caffeine, you know? That's me.
Dang.
I love that shit. I miss coffee. Dude, that's how you know you were an addict as well. I miss coffee every single day. I drink my cold brew, my decaf cold brew. I really enjoy it, but I was like, man, this shit used to put hairs on my chest. this shit used to be real.
You're just sitting there with your decaf, and you see someone walking by with a coffee, just enjoying it. You're like, God, I wish that was me.
Yeah, you're like, fuck you, man. This guy's like, what did I do? yeah, I bet you're fucking enjoying that, aren't you?
It's like, your decaf's is like, I didn't do anything. It's like, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been real. It's been emotional. We'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.